All right, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing here? How's it going there, King Sheep? Good to see you. Morning, morning. All right, so we are in the custom game here. Just working on some builds. I want to work on that skid steer, get that usable. It's just I'm gonna kill the music for now. The music's being annoying. All right, there. This one's better. I'll do that one. That song is just annoying. All right, good. Let's go ahead and worked on a skid steer yesterday. Gonna keep working on that. I want to get this kind of usable. So we'll get working on this. It needs all the things. So let's go ahead and we'll bang an engine in here real quick. Shouldn't need too much engine. It just needs a diesel electric essentially to run the generator for the electric motors. I'm just gonna lay it in. Just gonna put it somewhere so that I can, and then I'll drop it in. It's gonna be easier that way. All right. Probably do it flat, I would say. Gotta play with the weight a little bit, but try a flat 6 or we'll do radials, I think. Shouldn't need too much power, but also want it under stress and don't have to deal with it too much, so. That was an alternator I put on there. Shouldn't need that much, but we'll kind of play with that to start with. That work. Now, one thing to do with this too is I want to grab all of this. I'm going to change where the main block is here. There we go. All right, so that just changed the hierarchy of that. Okay, good. Let's see what we want for tank and business. Tank and bats we need in there. Cooling. Hello, Rasmus. How are you? For now, I'm just going to throw some parts in I need. And I'll move them around as necessary later. Battery and I can do it underneath. Yeah. Not really. All right, very good. I'm doing well, Rasmus. Good to see you. Good to see you. That's funky. Why is that like that? All right. Let's see. This should be the gen. RPS, air, fuel, clutch, starter, coolant pump, alternator. Alternator can go because it's going to be the same as the clutch. Right. I don't know why my headset shuts itself off. It's very obnoxious. Radio fan battery, start. What start generator? Okay, that's it's gonna be a component. Alternator PID values, P value, that can go. Okay. What's that? Engine. Let's see. Composite. All right. Okay. All right. Let's do RPS. That. Coolant pump. Radiator fan. Starter. Clutch. Clutch is going to go here and to the two alternators. Fuel manifold. Air manifold. For now, we'll control it up to seat. All right. All right, I want to get the drive working on this too because that's obnoxious, so I want to get that worked up. Then I want to make this so that I can use it for other things. All right, skid steer drive. Skid steer, electric drive. All right, good. So we need seat. Port drive. Star drive. So I think this one's gonna be WASD. Because I also like to do it WS up down as well, but I want to control the bucket with up down left right. So that's good. Increment. I think right is negative. I could do this with clamps. I'm trying to make it more configurable, so let's do this. I'm gonna do it without an up-down counter. We'll do more clamps. I think that'll be better. Okay, so that's good. And then we need, we'll do formulas to, then I can limit it. Good. People to kick on Twitch. See you later. Adios. All right, good. That's done. I'll talk through this in a second when I get kind of moving here. All right, so essentially what we're going to do is we have, this is AD, this is WS. This is my turn. One, I believe, here, let's just do it. Make it easier than guessing. So if I press W, it's 1, and then -1 is S. And then if I go ahead and I'll just go trim to D, I believe D is negative. No, it's positive. Okay, so left is negative. Yep, that's actually probably right. Yep, that's negative. All right, so negative is left. All right, backwards to what I thought at first. All right, so left is going to be negative. All right, good. So we're going to start with that. And then what we want is I want about 50% of my power to be able to go to turning and 50% be able to go to forward. So that's here and here. And then we're going to add these, do 50%, and then times the multiplication. So that's fine. So we'll do that. I don't need those anymore. All right, so that's going to be there. And we need a function here. All right, so we need to work on first section is going to be forward back. So that's going to be x. So it's going to be x plus. And then if we want to go to the left, so this right here is running the port drive, so the left side. So if we want to go left, it's going to read a negative number on here. And so that's fine. We want the negative to go through, which is going to be z. So it's going to be x plus z. So let's say forward, right, is going to be 50%, right? And then left is going to also be 50%. So what it's going to do for my right side is it's going to say, hey, I want to go hard left as fast as I can. So what it's going to do is it's going to add W plus Z. W will be at, say, 0.5, and this will be at negative 0.5. That's going to stop the wheels on this side. Might do quarters, and then the other side will go up. Continue forward. I got to screw with this for a second, though. And then I want to put more function because I want to be able to... you know what we'll do? And then we'll do times... and then this will be our multiplier here. Times y. And y is going to be the multiplier, so I can set like how much power actually goes through. So that will work. All right, and then we have starboard drive here is going to be x, z. And then the difference here is we want to invert this. No, do we? Let me see. If we want to make a left-hand turn, yeah, this needs to be inverted here. So it'd be minus z times y. That's good. And then we need, let's see, max power. I'm going to have to do a limiter in there at some point, but I want to get this running here. All right, let's go ahead and disconnect AD from the wheels here because I don't want them to steer. Composites going up there. We want WS to be reset 100%. Forward, reverse. Left, right, reset 100% there. That's going to be the port drives. Let's be the starboard drives. All right, we're already having problems here. I gotta shift some weight out of here too. Okay, I got it backwards. This is steering. That's why. All right, there's the turn. All right, so that limiter there, the Y value, is going to be controlling our speed. So you see it's way too fast and twitchy now. So we can control this like this. We could do 1/10 of the speed there. So that's 1/10 of the speed. See what round steering looks like here. All right, good. So that works pretty well. Hello, Daniel. How are you? All right, so that's definitely too slow, but we'll do that's easy to tune in and out. And we can get going pretty fast once we keep going. All right, good. All right, so that's good. That's that drive control's working. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this, and we will go. Um, all right, good. So that's saved now. So I can use that later. All right, so let's go ahead and. Let's get off infinite electricity. We'll go ahead and plumb all the electrics up. Get a relay put in there. Why my headset keeps shutting itself off, I have no fucking clue. Obnoxious is what it is, I'll tell you that much. See if I can get the drive put up underneath. I have to move the manifold to do that, but that will help me make this smaller and more compact. I really wonder how much the alternators can actually produce, because it would be cool if I could just do alternators. That would be interesting. That would really cut out a bunch of shit. I doubt alternators on their own are going to do it, but let's go ahead and play with that real fast. That would be great. Put that back here. I doubt it though. It's probably gonna be too weak, just for a compact nature of it all. All right, so that's that. Let's go ahead and plumb this up. That should be plumbed in to be able to run it. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that. I need to be able to start it, so I got to put a start in there. Let's panel out. Okay, that should run it. See if the alternator is going to be enough. I doubt it, but pause the music for a bit. Can I see the fucking battery, please? Thanks. Should I still have it on? That's why. All right, you start that motor anytime there, guy. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I kind of know that they're way worse. I'm just trying to see if I can possibly make it work. I doubt it though. Why this hasn't kicked on yet, I do not know. I gotta look at the code on this. All right, panel is the seat. Let me make sure I hook that seat up. It might not even started. Panel, yep, panel seat. I'll look through this. All right, that's 6 on. If that's that and it's less than 110 degrees, we turn that on. What are we setting here? Engine idle, max RPS 15. These lines are all not correct because this is it's a tutorial build. So instead of hiding everything like I normally would, they're lined up so people can actually see where everything's going so they can learn how to do it. And it drives me absolutely bonkers because I like my lines clean. And so then it drives me bonkers later. Quite aggravating, actually. Because, like, left to my own devices, it would look much different. Look like this. Be much cleaner. That's nasty. Yeah, some of that's nasty. I don't like it. Just drives me nuts that like it looks so shitty because it's for a tutorial build. There, that's cleaner. All right, I can work with this now. All right, so this turns on the PID for the battery. That's battery. That's the desired number. That's the p-value in there. That turns that on. That should go up and control the RPS. So that's my X value. We got X is clamped between Y and Z, which is 3515. That's good. This turns on the PID as long as its temperature is below 110 and the on switch is on. The starter will go on if the RPS is less than 2.5 and I've asked it to start. I've asked it to start. That should put the starter on. And then this is not going to anything. That's going there. Okay, and then the clutch is going to engage automatically. It just has the auto clutch there. That's fine. Coolant pump cut in at 100 degrees. That's fine. This one here is going to drive me nuts. That's coolant pump. That's all fine. Radiator fan out. I like that. That's fine. This should be 0.18. That's all the electric motor. I need to get max flow rate out of the small impeller. All right, let's go drain this battery down. What we'll do here is I'm just going to do it real simple by grabbing it and go to 44%. Why can I not hear my character? Not getting any game audio anywhere. Thought I had this issue yesterday. I couldn't hear anything. Because that engine could have been running for all I know. I think I'm having... Huh. I don't even see the game coming up as a sound option, so... What the hell is going on here? Weird. I'll try to play with it. Something's up with my audio. Alright, so that started. Okay, it's running. It's charging with just alternators. Let's drive around a little bit, see how it performs. I'll reboot the game in a second here, see if it's the game. Because I was on my my portable speaker, and I switched over to the headset, so... Why are we not turning right? Alright, let's, I'm gonna save this up, and then I'm gonna try to get some goddamn audio going here. I did have a PC crash earlier, but, Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do a PC, or a game reboot and see what happens. Because I had it on a different audio source, and then I switched it over, so it might have never come back up. Also like to know why my headset keeps, shutting itself off for no reason. All right, good. I got the Geometa thing start. So. All right, good. So that's. I had it hooked on my other speaker, and that probably did it. Let's catch up in chat while we're waiting here. Recommend having 2 generators for a tank skid steer with 2 motors and 2 separate electrical circuits. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so we have audio now. Let me know if anything gets too loud. I have to dick with the levels now and again. I increase the volume. All right, let's get the skid steer. I'm just going to put the gens back in. I don't think I need 6 cylinders. I think 3 cylinders should be fine. Oh, I don't have exhaust hooked up either. That's not helpful. Let's do this. All right, and then can I cut this bad Marvin down a little bit? Let's play with it the way it is right now, and then I'll screw with it. How about we do that? Let's be smart about this here. Because all I'm going to have to do is smush a bunch of shit back in there if it doesn't work. So. All right. I think everything's hooked up there. This is gonna annoy me, so I'm gonna do this. That way I can sit in there and just check the battery. The game's gonna start with infinite electricity on, so that's not helpful there. Alright, so I'm full tilt, and that's having no problems maintaining full power. Alright, so that's good. Okay. If I could go smaller wheels, I'd kind of like to. Let's see if we can't bang some threes in there. I can always put these back in later. All right, good. So we can move that axle probably this way back. That works. All right. What was that? Clear external logic? Oh, fuck that. Is that what that button does? I wonder if I keep seeing people have this problem where they accidentally delete shit and then they're like, "Oh, all my logic disconnected." I wonder if they're hitting this button because I don't recall ever knowing that button existed. So, but that would be interesting if that's what they're doing and they're accidentally hitting that button and they don't realize it's there and then they're like, "Though the game screwed me and I didn't realize that was there." That's fine. There's skid steer, so it's not gonna matter. Okay. I don't think I ever knew that button was there. Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. I'm trying to think where the piston's gonna go. That's kind of probably part of my issue. Put it there for now. I don't give a shit. I'm not playing this that shit around all day game. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Check the manifolds. Make sure we might be short manifolds here. I gotta look though. All right, those two. We need to do the upper bank. Needs a attach point. Yes, the upper bank needs to attach. That's it. All right, make sure everything's still connected. RPS needs to be reconnected. Engine probably needs to be reconnected. Yep. All right, let's check the electricity. Make sure nothing got screwed on that. Check that out. All right, we're at full tilt and it's having no problem recharging the bat, so that's good. All right, good, good, good. All right, let's see. Let's check up some chat here. How's it going there, Amanda? Good to see you. Yeah, there's a button here, selection grid. When you grab something, where was it? It's right here. Clear external logic. All right, we need to get the functionality back in this now. So I got a couple things I want to do here. I think the answer is probably we don't need this much fuel. can't imagine we need this much fuel. Yeah. Because this is like not gonna be used like a ton. Okay. Trying to see. I don't know how this block is not doing it, so let's go ahead and save it again. I'm going to edit that XML block out and see why it's not behaving itself. Definitely adding mass, as you can see, it's got the tire sunk in, but it should be pushing down on the front. Let me move it up a little bit. Stop moving, scoundrel. Scabrous dog. Alright, let's see. Just go there for now, and then if that doesn't fix it, then we know where we're at. Yeah, see, it's still leaning back. I don't understand how the hell it's leaning back. It's adding total mass, and then it's seesawing to the ass. So what I think it's doing is it's adding total mass to the vehicle, but the center of gravity is staying the same. So I'm gonna put this in the center of mass, and then I'm gonna counterweight it and see if that will fix it. All right. Burn symmetry on before I lose my mind. That's good there. That can go. That has to stay like that. All right. Now I'm losing counterweight space. I want to have that battle canopies in the middle is not the end of the world there. So I think that's probably what it's actually doing is it's deleting total or deleting or adding total mass. And then it's balancing off of where the normal balance point is. I think what it's probably doing. Yeah, see, that's what it's doing. So the rocket is adding total mass, and then the center of gravity is still what center of gravity is. That makes sense. Okay. So that's what it's doing. So that's an interesting insight that I wasn't sure about earlier. So okay, that's good for brakes. We got brakes now. And then let's see. Let's save this and add a container. or the module rather. All right, we're gonna bring the arms in anyway, but that's got 15,000 mass. All right, there we go. All right, good. So that's a good start there. Let's change the geometry of the arms now that it's shorter, because I want this shorter wheelbase. All right, we'll work the geometry out. So that's nothing. That goes. So just put it in perspective how strong these robotic pivots are. The on that front end loader I made for Alistair's challenge, the robotic pivots were I had one doing all the work for the bucket. So that's all I had was one doing all the work there. You don't need it doesn't need a ton. It's really, they're pretty strong. You know, most issues people have are because of the fact their physics isn't set to high. Stop. Too much. All right. So I want the eyes of the operator to be above the arms as well, so that's what I'm trying to get there. I gotta reattach the arms. Let's see. What are they? Left, right, left, right. That's still connected. Yes. Okay. It's backwards in the arms, so let's fix that. Oh, there we go. So that's nice and small and compact. I like that. The size is good. It's way overweight, so we're gonna change the weight to what we can change it to. But damn, that's strong. Because like the pivots are all very strong. The pivot strength is no problem. It's the counterweight is what you need. So right now, this is way too. I'm just gonna save it with this because it's right in front of it. I can easily delete it off. So, and then I'm gonna change that. Right now, the fuel factor is 15,000. Oh, stop it! This thing is a pain in the balls when it does this. All right. Trying to highlight. All right, replace fuel factor with, so currently it's 15,000. I'm going to try 5,000, probably too little, but we're going to keep working it until we can get it to where it works. Because there's a lot of weight. That is a considerable amount of weight. It's 6,500 liters of diesel in there, so that's pretty damn heavy. And being skid steer now, it's a lot easier to maneuver it. All right, so that's 5,000. So 5,000 works. Kind of, because it's hitting the ground there. Could go back to 5s and decrease the size of them, but then we're going to have arm problems here. So I could do a straighter arm and then down if I need to. But so much of it's the geometry of like how close the arms are to the body for the lever arms and everything else. So I think a lot of people underestimate how important that stuff is. All right, so 5,000. Let's save this. And then let's go ahead, fuel factor 5,000. And then we'll change it to, let's go to 2,500. That's half. Replace, there we go. Okay, save that. So that's 2,500. All right, so half seems like it's not enough. All right, so let's go back to 5,000. We knew that worked. Let's go, say 3. Say 4. Say 4,500. We'll drop 500 off of it. We'll play with some geometry again. Keep getting the geometry improved. I can cut some weight off. I just need to be able to get it out of that garage that the president's hitting on the way out because of the way it's set up. So, all right, so 4,500 works, but I have to get it out of this garage bay here. So let's try to hammer it sideways. Bang. Okay, we're through. I don't like the cosmetic of it sticking through the ground. That's not thrilling me either. But we gotta pick our battles here. We either get this thing to do its job or it doesn't do its job. So that's an excessive amount of weight for this little Johnny. Yep, as Daniel said, never underestimate lever arms. All right, good. So I'm happy with the performance. So this is saved, and I'm going to start dicking with the looks a little bit. Let's do this. Let's put 5s back on there and see if the 5s help with digging into the ground. I don't know if they will or not. Okay. All right, so that 2 by there. Where's it hitting again? Hitting up top. All right. All right. Get a little bit beefy on those legs. Oh, stop. Delete the shit that I want, not the shit that I actually click on, please. Was that really hitting the tire there? Good lord, man. That's too goofy thin there. Oh, that's why it won't go. It's just this fuel port. That's getting moved. All right. All right, let's see how this. All right, so it's still sinking through with 5. It's pretty much the same as far as I'm concerned. Why is that still going up? Okay. I'm thinking the 3s. If it's gonna still sink down as much, I'm gonna go 3s. If I click goddamn high grip one more time on this one, there we go. All right. I just like to look the high speeds better. Look kind of like Nokian tires. Forks can come up 1, 2. Because we have plenty of clearance space to put the forks up. Still not thrilled with the way the forks look, but yeah. Again, I'm just checking functionality more than anything right now. Alright, good. So, I don't like the wheel sticking through the ground, but there's not much I can do about it. Yeah, the only way to really fix that is add wheels. I'd rather not add tracks. I'd try adding tracks, make it a track version, but it's working. I just don't like the way the wheels are sticking through the ground. I doubt gripping them up is going to fix that. Could run a quick test with it, but I don't think it will. Grip 99. We'll make them twos. Gripper, 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 gripper. There we go. Grip factor. That's all four of them. A little arm weakness at the moment here. Now we're having some arm problems. Alright, but let's go ahead and save this. Do one quick test with the pivot points moved up one. Alright, that's better. It's still going up a little bit on its own, but that's better. Yeah, the only issue I'm having is those wheels sticking in. I'm gonna quickly toss, I'm gonna save it, toss some tracks on, see how I like it with tracks on there. Did they change the size of some of these too? I think they did, didn't they? Some of the tracks. Yeah, it's sticking through still. Sticking through the ground. It just hits heavy. Real ass heavy. Alright. There's one trick I could try. I'm not thrilled about it, but we could try something. Yeah, it's gonna suck to do it. Let's see. Those are enormous and silly. Alright, there's tank wheel smalls. Okay, mediums. The only trick I could think of doing, which the fucking coasters are huge too, is stick a coaster underneath, but I don't have space for that shit. Have a ride in the coaster to keep it from sinking. Yeah, I'm looking at more of the tracks. They Here are the tank wheel smalls. Tank wheel small wide. We put those on for that. These are the narrow Johnnies here, the ones I had on there. The new ones. Like, it's not going to be much difference. You see it's still sticking to the ground, so that's my main issue. Just kind of the way the game, like, if you need more tires, it's gonna stick it through the ground until you, hey, put more tires on. The problem is, like, of course, IRL, there's no way in Christ you're gonna be able to make a skid steer this size that's gonna be able to hold something like this big. Because that is, if it's diesel, it's 6.7 pounds per gallon. I got it in liters. Let's see, what's a liter of diesel? 2.2 maybe? Liter of diesel weight 0.85, so 6,500 times 0.85. So that's 5,500 pounds just of the diesel. That would be a lot for a skid steer to haul. All right, good. So I'm content with that so far. Let's see what my... Like, this is more what you want to lift that with. But anyway, what else do I want to work on? Could, let's see. Let's try a proof of concept, because a forklift would work better, so let's do this. Still gonna need a lot of counterweight. See if we can keep dressing this up a little bit at least. Now, where's the fuel goes there, right? So that's got to change where that is. We can do fuel later, it's fine. A bunch of builds to work on too, so. Pretty much the Bobcats I do pretty much have a straight piece of glass on them. Stop, go there please, thanks. I'm so glad when symmetry is not on. It's really just my favorite thing in the world. It thrills me to no end. Really, just my favorite. All right, let's see. Yeah, knocking down the 5x5s, but the 5x5s are still sticking through the ground. That's the problem, is they're not really changing the look of it or dynamic of it much, or any. Haha, I hate these arrows. All right, there we go. Let's see. I have to find a place for the other one in a minute, but Here's a battery. Where'd the battery go? Man, I'm not gonna be able to reach the door there. Where did that go? Right there. It's better. Get out of here. Get out of there, no problem. That's good. All right, I like it. Having reverse problems with this, but we'll fix that later. Trying to turn it the other way, but it just doesn't want to do it. The wheels got disconnected from the brakes again. I gotta fix that. This is why I'd love to see some one by one mining parts, one by one, you know, be like 1x3 drill, but some 1x1 ducting, because then we could make some really small stuff like this for mining. All right, good. So that's making some progress on this. I'll put fives on there again, but they, Christ on a cracker, this symmetry is diabolical half the time. But they weren't really doing anything for me. They're still sinking in the ground. Delete that out. Don't think I can do that. No, it's still gonna be there. That's fine. We'll just do this. Gotta probably actually prefer the look anyway. Yeah, it's still, I don't see any change. It's still sitting through the ground pretty much as much. Sitting a little higher, which might be helping, but that's because of the hub size. That's about all I can really tell. But anyways, this is helpful for being able to move. Like this, you know, this full container is quite heavy. All right. Design-wise, I kind of like this a little bit squarer. So let's try. Yeah, I like that squared up a little bit more. And then let's see. Gotta figure out where to get this fuel port in. So it was right here. That right there, that right there. Both of those don't work. So let's see. Worry about getting this too close to the roof line because then it's not going to work on the roof line. So. Okay. You know, like what you would do IRL is you'd probably move the, well, definitely not, probably you would. You'd move the empty container, go load it on the helicopter, and then, you know, fill it. But what I'm trying to do is make sure that I could do this if I wanted to or needed to. That's kind of what I'm doing. Um, these should go down one, frankly. Check the geometry of this. Let's make sure the geometry is going to work. Mostly want to make sure it misses the, see how much it sinks into the ground, so it's kind of one of the obnoxious elements of it. So that's the right position, it's just where it's sitting very low. Alright, that misses the roof line fine. So what I was going to try to do is push them in one. Just trying to get the geometry better and better. Yeah, like I was saying, where I would love it if they would make it so we had some smaller mining parts. This is what would be great for that, is it would really help with, you know, we'd actually be able to use something like this for mining, which would be great. All right, that's good. Let's save this. Actually, there's one thing I want to do. So let's go ahead and I want to look up the zinc primer. RGB. Yeah, here it is. Zinc chromate primer. Zinc chromate primer RGB. All right. One 18370. One 18370. It's zinc chromate. That actually looks about right. Add it to one of the many beiges I have that looks like every other beige that I have. There we go. Okay. Not that you put zinc chromate on something like this, but okay, good. This one I'm just gonna do this because it's gonna be all the same color anyway. But on my airplanes, I want zinc chromate as the kind of the default color in there, so that inside all the engine bays and everything is zinc chromate. So. Give me that color, you scoundrel. Just do it. Christ. Christ on a cracker, man. Give it to me. Ugh. Alright, there we go. That's painted up. Blacken the forks. All right, I dig that little guy. That's helpful, and I can use that for a bunch of different things. So let's save that. But definitely, like, this thing's gonna be a piece of cake when it's empty. One thing we could, I don't want to play with this anymore. I'm trying to see what I want to do next. Take a little break, get a coffee and a sweatshirt, and then we'll come back and I'll work on some more stuff. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and finish up there. I don't have a ton of time. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you're new and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one.